We have Binance under increasing regulatory scrutiny for more criminal activities, and fraud being one of them, and therefore we have the competition to Coinbase. Really, we think it's disappearing, and so that's a good thing longer term for Coinbase.
A regulatory crackdown is underway against the two largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, and this week the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission accused them of trading in registered securities. According to Cathie, the growing regulatory scrutiny of Binance will benefit Coinbase in the long run. She made this statement in an interview with Bloomberg Television on Thursday. Neither Binance nor any of its representatives have been charged with a crime by U.S. regulators. Changpeng Zhao, the chief executive of Binance, and 3 of the exchange's affiliated businesses were accused of various violations of the CFA, CEA, and CFTC regulations in a civil enforcement action initiated in March by the U.S. derivatives regulator. The CFTC activity was characterized as unexpected and depressing by Binance. Zhao wrote in a blog post on the business website that the lawsuit seemed to include an incomplete recital of the facts, and that many of the issues raised therein do not match how they were described. She said that Coinbase is not being accused of any criminal behavior. Her remarks follow her funds increasing their holdings in Coinbase on Tuesday when shares fell as a result of the SEC action, with the 3 ARK Investment Management LLC products, including Wood's flagship ARK Innovation ETF, purchasing 419,324 shares. In addition, she emphasizes that she remains optimistic in her goal of $1 million for Bitcoin, noting that the more unpredictability and volatility there is in the world's markets, the more ARK is confident in the token. Now let's see Cathie Wood discuss why she believes that, despite their difficulties, this is good news for Coinbase. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and leave comments after listening.
What we're seeing is that the judicial and legislative branches of our government, separation of powers, are starting to weigh in on this topic. And the regulator, the SEC, is part of the executive branch appointed by the president. And as we're seeing cases go through court in the judicial system, the the judicial system is questioning the SEC's decisions here. And so we think this is a good thing. We actually think this is going to be in the courts and in legislation for perhaps years. And what has happened in the meantime? We have Binance under increasing regulatory scrutiny for more criminal activities, and fraud being one of them, and therefore we have the competition to Coinbase. Really, we think it's disappearing, and so that's a good thing longer term for Coinbase. The more uncertainty and volatility there is in the global economies, the more our confidence increases in Bitcoin. And one of the reasons is we've just been through an inflationary scare. We think it was very much supply chain driven, and Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. We also believe now that the bigger risk is deflation, not inflation. And why would Bitcoin do well in that circumstance? It would do well because it's an antidote to counterparty risk in the traditional financial system. On the Bitcoin blockchain, everything is transparent. It may be pseudonymous, but we can see all the transactions, all of the activity, and therefore we have a much better understanding of how little counterparty risk there is in the blockchain world. The SEC sued Binance on one day, and then the next day, Coinbase. And they were trying to put them in the same bucket. They are not at all in the same bucket. We have 2 former officials of Binance US coming forward, and actually we now understand that they have been working with regulators and the government generally to help the government understand how Binance US was not separate and distinct from Binance International and how much CZ controlled Binance US and how much of Binance's data was in China and how much commingling of funds there were. Coinbase is not accused of any of this. And it is unfortunate that the SEC took action against Coinbase the day after Binance and then seemed to muddy. Chairman Gensler, as he was on one of the major news channels, was trying to implicate Coinbase in the same way that he was implicating Binance. No, they're very different. There are questions about what's a security and about staking. Those are the two questions that Coinbase is facing and Binance is facing. But most of the other questions around Binance have nothing to do with Coinbase.
ARK is Coinbase's fourth largest investor and has been increasing its holdings on declines for almost a year. The CEO of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, has put a lot of money and trust in the American cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase. However, according to a report from Binance Feed, she may come to regret some of her choices in the future. The Securities and Exchange Commission of the United States, SEC, charged Coinbase with violating U.S. regulatory regulations by failing to register correctly. The commission also accuses Coinbase of prioritizing profits over investor interest and making millions of dollars through illegal means that circumvent regulatory restrictions. Coinbase stock lost almost 13% of its value as a result of the market's anticipated fight-or-flight reaction. Whether justified or necessary, the SEC has historically been unreasonable hard on cryptocurrencies. Additionally, the U.S. regulatory organizations establish laws and definitions for cryptocurrency that are ambiguous and occasionally nonsensical. It's interesting to see that Cathie is aware of the regulatory threat facing American businesses. It might, just might. She didn't think the crackdown would occur so quickly. Cathie has approximately 11 million shares of Coinbase stock, according to her portfolio. As a result, her Coinbase holdings rank third overall across all of her funds, which could spell trouble for Cathie Wood and ARK Invest. Similarly, ARK Investing runs the danger of experiencing significant losses if Coinbase keeps losing, and we go down this regulatory rabbit hole. And these losses will hurt a lot given the level of faith ARK Invest had in Coinbase. However, as of June 6, 2023, neither Cathie Wood nor her company have responded to the breakneck lawsuit filed against Coinbase, nor its accompanying price decline. In any case, it is already clear that the US and cryptocurrency are having trouble and will continue to have trouble. Although Cathie Wood is an experienced investor, neither her competence nor plan can explain the SEC's unreasonable witch hunt. She has also come under fire for selling out Nvidia Corporation in January and missing out on an incredible rise that sent the chipmaker's market value momentarily above $1 trillion. What justifies her choice by mentioning worries about the boom-bust cycle of the computer chip industry? She claimed that Tesla, a manufacturer of electric vehicles, is one of the most significant examples of artificial intelligence in use today. Later on Thursday, in a video address to the Morgan Stanley Australia Summit in Sydney, combined Cathie claimed that Tesla, with its 4 to 5 million robots roaming the globe, is gathering more data every day and has accumulated more miles of real-world driving data than all of the other auto companies and technology companies combined. According to her, Tesla's advertisement effort will aid in the scaling of projects involving autonomous taxis. What do you think about Cathie Wood's position on the Binance controversy? Post your comments in the space provided below and let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable alerts. Thank you for watching.